Anakin and Padme. The most heartbreaking and emotional ending to any relationship in all of Star Wars. In Revenge of the Sith, we witnessed Padme's death and Anakin's transformation to Darth Vader. But what if I told you that wasn't the end of their story? What if I told you Vader learned everything, including the truth of how she actually died and actual recorded footage of her final moments? Well, in today's story, that's exactly what we'll be diving into. So let's get right into it. After being encased into his new suit, one of the first things Vader learned was that Padme died. However, according to Palpatine, he was the one to kill her in his own anger. After hearing this, Vader was enraged, heartbroken, and most of all, trapped. Trapped into this new life, knowing that he would never be able to live his dream by being with her and raising a family together. Even more than that though, he was now trapped into this prison of a suit with nobody left in his life except his master, Palpatine. Now, after these events, Vader believed every word that Palpatine said. Although he refused to acknowledge it at first, he believed Palpatine's words and that she was truly dead because of him. Over the course of the next 20 years, this was a regret that Vader lived with each and every day. He was convinced that she died on the landing platform after he force choked her, and that was the end of her story. Little did he know though, that's not how she died. As we all saw, Padme died from a broken heart and chose death instead of seeing what Anakin had become. However, to take things even further, she also lived long enough to give birth to their two twins, Luke and Leia. This was something that Vader never even thought was possible. He thought he killed her, and of course he thought there were no children, but that would all change one day. Eventually, Vader learned that his son was Luke Skywalker, so it made him come to terms that Padme did not in fact die on the landing platform. Clearly she gave birth, and even more than that, Palpatine must have lied. So, Vader was determined to uncover the secret of when, where, and how she died. Right after the events of The Empire Strikes Back, in his fight against Luke, Vader set out for answers. Soon he went on his own mission, and in time his journey led him to the planet of Naboo, Padme's home planet. For years he's always avoided Naboo because of all the painful memories it would bring him, but he knew he had to go back. He had to learn the truth. So, Vader soon arrived on Naboo and made his way to Padme's tomb. As he arrived though, he had to confront many people who were guarding the tomb, including one of Padme's old handmaidens, Sabe. Sabe, along with a group called the Amidalans, protected Padme's tomb from Vader, or at least they tried. These Amidalans were technically Naboo security, but they were no match for someone like Vader. Without mercy, Vader force-choked all of them and tossed them aside so he could make his way in. Eventually he did, and although he was haunted with memories of the past, he soon reached her tomb. Now, as he approached the tomb though, he was accompanied by a droid named ZED-67. ZED was a forensic interrogation droid, and his main duty here was to help Vader uncover the truth of Padme's death. So, using the Force, Vader moved Padme's tomb slightly, creating a small hole inside it, so that way the droid could scan inside.
Allow me to scan. There it is.
The droid pulled out a hologram of a med implant.
A med implant, stamped and traceable.
Vader looked at the implant, and within it, he saw that it led to the planet of Polis Masa, the same planet we saw Padme die on all those years ago. So, Vader traveled to Polis Masa, but since this was now 20 years later, the medical facility there was now abandoned and pretty run down.
I detect no surviving life forms. Where should we? The spaceport control, of course.
Vader and the droid walked inside the facility.
Damaged, but not destroyed. Let's see what's what. That's a good sound. Searching for data on arrivals and departures during the time period of... There it is.
In front of Vader and the droid was a hologram of a ship, but not just any ship, Padme's ship.
A Naboo J-type star skiff transporting Padme Amidala and two droids flown by the notorious Jedi Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Vader became enraged. For years he thought he killed Padme, but what enraged him even more now was seeing that Obi-Wan was clearly there in her final moments.
Kenobi.
Stop! Stop now! Come back! I love you!
Liar!
I can't access the medical logs. If that database still exists, we'll have to tap into it directly from the medical facility across the way. Although at this point, that may be easier said than done.
The Amidalans.
I'm afraid so, my lord.
As Vader ignited his saber, he watched as multiple ships belonging to the Amidalan group showed up. They clearly were trying to stop Vader from involving himself with Padme's death, and so they followed him here to stop him. However, Vader refused to allow them to step in his path. So, using all his rage, Vader force-crushed multiple of their ships to crash and attack anybody in his sight. As he fought these soldiers though, he was constantly flooded with memories. Memories of his final moments with Padme.
You and the
chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them!
You're going down a path I can't follow.
Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness! I hate you! You were my brother, Anakin!
You killed her.
I loved you!
Vader only became more enraged, so he sliced every nearby soldier until there were absolutely no survivors. Soon they were all dead, and all that remained was Vader, a few of his troopers, and the droid ZED.
All right, this way then.
This place.
A maternity ward.
What do the records say?
The data core's been destroyed. Ow!
Vader swelled up with rage.
I am sorry, Lord Vader. There's nothing here to recover.
Vader walked right past him. At that moment, ZED thought that Vader was gonna kill him, but oddly, he was focused on something else. A maternity droid lying there.
A Kroontan B-machine midwifery droid. She's badly damaged, but at least part of her memory bank appears to be there.
Before them was a hologram, but this time of Padme herself, lying on a table.
Padme.
Obi-Wan.
Vader had no words.
That name again. He must have been very important to her. Ow!
Out of nowhere, Vader ignited his saber and slashed ZED in half, killing him instantly. Hearing Obi-Wan's name only filled him with rage, but more importantly, he wanted to see Padme for himself. So, he walked back over to the recording.
There's good in him. I know.
Vader looked downwards.
I know there's still.
As he heard these words, Vader started seeing visions. Cloud City, himself as Anakin, himself as a boy. Vader was heartbroken. He had grief. At that moment, he questioned everything. His loyalty to Palpatine, the Sith, the Empire. At that moment, he realized he was lied to for so long about Padme's death. However, even more than that, she believed there was good in him, even in her final moments.
Lord Vader, have you settled your business?
Yes, Master.
Really? The Sith know that fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to strength. But you, my friend, have just wallowed in grief. You need to start all over again. With fear.